welcome to the channel. Thank you everybody for tuning in today. And now it's time for another sale video. Yes, AliExpress has done it again. They've given us another sale. This one is a flash 3-day sale. I would refer to it as the winter sale in preparation for New Year's. But regardless of what it's called, hopefully everybody has recovered from the last couple of sales. Now it's time again to dig deep within those pockets. Here in front of me are some of the examples. Just a very small example of what is available on AliExpress. You know, month on month, the suppliers, the brands on AliExpress are doing their best to improve and bring us value for money. Some of the brands are very popular and they are becoming well known. The more YouTube reviewers like myself are digging into AliExpress and bringing you amazing examples of quality watches. So today's video is going to be quite comprehensive. I don't want to make a couple of videos, just the one. And from my estimate, I think there's around 25 to 28 watches, but I'll do it in a concise manner to make sure this video doesn't run past 30 minutes as per my usual. So we're going to go through different categories. We're going to address the £50 mark. There's a few good buys in there that you can get on the budget side of things, and then around the £100, then around the 150, and the last category is only one watch in there, which is just north of £250. So as always with these sales videos, I'm very honest and just, you know, straight up with it. Obviously this is a chance for the YouTube reviewers to cash in on this, because most of us are affiliated with AliExpress, including myself. So in the description you're going to see affiliated links, which obviously by now you should know that they don't cost you anything. And what it does, AliExpress gives the link holders, the affiliate link holders, a small kickback. So you're looking at a very small percentage of commission on the watch. Nonetheless, it's my thanks goes out to everybody who does use them, because, you know, YouTube, yes, you earn bits and pieces. Of course, AliExpress is quite a big help and it enables us to continuously buy more watches. There's a lot of passion behind these channels, and I'm not trying to sell anything here, but you know, it's all about the passion. It's all about getting the watches in there, helping you guys make the right decision. So the description will have all the links posted. It's going to be quite a heavy description because it's going to have a bunch of links for you guys. But the video, I'll keep it short. So by now, if you haven't done so already, you're watching the channel, you enjoy the content, make sure you hit the like button, then make sure you hit the subscribe, hit the notifications bell so you're up to date with all the latest reviews. I've got some really nice unboxings coming up as well, and a few watches still to review. So let's head on over to AliExpress and show you what I've managed to pick out for everybody. So as I said, I've got a bunch of watches to show you guys, but let's start off with an absolute mind blower. Time and time again, AliExpress really surprises me. It resets what I think I know about Chinese watches, and this one is one of those pieces. Now, I haven't personally reviewed this. I think I've seen a couple of reviews about the brand, which is Benyar, or Benyar, however you say it. And just this piece, obviously it's a homage to a Rolex, and you've got the details there. Very Pagani design. I think there might be a sister brand of Pagani, I'm not too sure just yet. But quick rundown, you've got 41mm case, pretty standard. You've got a movement called G266Z, which is going to be a Chinese variant automatic movement, and you've got Hardlex used, which is not a problem with regards to Hardlex, but just look at the price. So it's at 32 already after the discounts. You're looking at £25.82. Now, it's worth mentioning with these sales, the reason this sale is actually quite good is because of AliExpress giving their coupons out. That is what makes the difference. So they're giving quite a lot of coupons, some really heavy coupons, up to £15, which is between $20 to $25. So you're going to get a pretty good discount no matter what watch you buy. But looking at this one, for example, £25.82. Automatic movement, stainless steel case, you know, it's got a pretty decent dial hands. Obviously don't expect too much, of course, but just that price that's just left me absolutely speechless. And you get quick delivery. Also look at the other models, they are very, very affordable. Next bunch of watches, the three watches, and they all are from the brand called Corguet. Now, a lot of people are familiar with this, and to date I've not actually reviewed any Corguet watches yet. I've seen the reviews, and for the price they're giving, that you can purchase these at, you know what, they're giving you pretty solid watches with not much room to actually complain. So the first one is, I've pointed this out in my last sale as well, this is the homage to the Oris Big Crown date pointer. Overall, pretty decent build, but what I like from Corguet and the watches that I'm going to show you is the fact that the direction they headed in. You know, they were following Pagani, they were going to the Rolex homage route, but it's really good to see them going towards a more vintage, retro looking route. So they're starting doing obviously this Oris style watch, and they've also looked at like IWC inspired watches as well, so more pilot watches. Now just take a look at this as well. So this is again from Corguet, just slightly over the £50 mark by £2.90, and the previous one was at 48. But I will mention the prices later. I just want to go through these watches. Again, a very, very classy looking watch. Let's just look at the dial a bit closer. Now you've got power reserve on there, you've got a 60-minute marker at the bottom, you've got the date window on the right hand side, 3 sub dials. Of course, you've got the minute and hour hand. And I think the design of the dial, you've got a clearly stamped dial with an automatic movement, and just have a look, such fine detail available at £52.90. And this uses an Sea-Gull ST1901 automatic movement, and that's another thing which I am starting to like about Corguet as well, is the fact that they are going towards different movements. So we're going to see, or we have been seeing recently, because I keep an eye on them, even though I don't buy them, I do keep an eye at what's coming out, and I like to see what movements they're going with. So they've gone away from that DG2813 movement. They started looking at more Miyota movements and also these Sea-Gull movements. Now with Sea-Gull, there are literally thousands of movements that they can go to. But now just look at this cheap price and look at the complications available. You know, a 40-hour power reserve. These, I think, gorgeous looks, and it is a different direction for Corguet, which I really do appreciate. Now the third Corguet on the list, this bronze beauty, plain black dial, you know, very Flieger-ish, and it's got some inspiration from IWC as well. And you've got this lovely large dial, and you've got a small sub dial for the seconds. Overall, just from pictures, the build quality looks great, and you've got 2 options: logo, no logo. The thing with these kind of dials, no logo doesn't look too bad. But what's great with this is the fact that they use a 6497 movement. Just look at the back. So it's a vintage movement, vintage looking watch. This is purely mechanical, so you have to hand wind it in order for it to run. Something like this, a power reserve would have helped, but you know, it's actually not absolutely necessary. So these Corguets that I've shown you, the cases are from 40 to 43 mil. In between that, prices are all £50 or under, and they all use Sea-Gull movements between ST1612, and there is an option on the Corguet before that uses the 8215 Miyota. They also use the Sea-Gull 1780 as mentioned, and you've got a full mechanical movement 6497, 17 jewel movement. They all use Hardlex crystal, which again, for the price point and the design, Hardlex isn't that bad. You know, we're getting used to just chasing specs, but that is because China has been giving out all the specs for similar price range. But if you don't mind the Hardlex too much, and you like a bigger watch with these more vintage design cues, definitely have a take a look through the Corguet store. I was about to call it a Corguet, which is I think what it's named after. Now, right next to Corguet, you've got Parnis, and I do have one Parnis, which is the Daytona, which I actually still have with that mint green dial, and I've got it just because of that dial color. Again, this watch is £50 or below. This particular watch is at £45, and you've got that 6497 hand winding mechanical movement, and again, you've got a different direction that Parnis is going into. So now Parnis and Corguet are very similar, but I do like the design. Again, Flieger style dial, very similar to the one I just showed you. So if you don't like Corguet on there, you can go for Parnis. You've got a couple of dial options, and this being a pilot watch, 44 millimeters. The second Corguet I've got at £46, so ridiculously cheap prices, and this is just going to become the norm. But just take a look at that detail here. I like the, you know, that goldy bronze case, You've got the nailing on the crown. You've got some real fine details on the crown, on that subdial there, the 60-second subdial. Fully mechanical movement, and for the most part it looks absolutely brilliant. I like this large see-through exhibition back case. Just have a closer look at that movement. Of course, fully mechanical and hand winding. Let me mix it up a bit, throw in a Quartz here. Now this is from Phylida, again another brand which is new, is up and coming, and there are a few reviews about Phylida watches. Yes, people take the absolute mick out of the name, and I don't blame them, but and it's a Miyota quartz movement, so a very solid and reliable quartz movement. It's a 45mm pilot watch. The thing with this style of dial, where you've got the 3 subdials in the center and this whole chronograph setup, is you don't actually need the logo. You've also got a date complication, so you do get quite a lot of complications, and the fact that you do have a solid movement behind it. They've got a few colors. I think the color options in this that are available are absolutely fantastic as well. You've got a lovely green dial, you've got a black and beige dial like this one here, and this is 56, so it's just in between this and the next category. But you know, if you do like quartz chronograph pilot watches, this one is definitely one to consider. Now the next one is a bit of a surprising one. It's made by Parnis, and it's surprising for 2 reasons. One, the price. It's £120 usually, but with the sale, 111. It's a 44mm watch. But the second surprise, right, is just look how different they've done this watch. This just caught my eye, and I thought I'd definitely have to bring this up. It uses a type of Miyota movement. I'm not sure which variant. It's definitely the 8000 series, but with the 8000 series of the Miyota, you do have a range of setups. Now let's just zoom in on the dial and let's see what we have here. So you've got the Parnis logo on the side, between, just say, the 2 and the 4 o'clock marker. I actually like that. You've got to look at the crown guards, how the watch has been set up, but look, the hour hand is actually separate to the minute hand, and you've got a sub dial with the seconds right underneath. So a bit of a it reminds me of like a dial, maybe a dash on a car, or a speedometer, or something, even just say on an aeroplane possibly. But it's not even about that. I think look how different it is, and from Parnis, you know, great ingenuity, I'd say, to go for something this different. And you know, I really can't wait to see what this watch looks like. So for the new year, I definitely am ordering a lot more budget pieces, getting the reviews out there. I'm very conscious that my reviews are mostly of watches around the 100 to going up to about £200 mark, but that's just my personal taste. I do put a lot of my own personal taste within my reviews, but why not? You know, I'm reviewing them. I do want to be passionate about the watches. So going forward, I think for the new year's, I'll be looking at a lot more of these budget watches, but this Parnis definitely has interested me. So the next category up is the 100 to £150 mark. Just have a look at this Reef Tiger. Let's just restart that video again. Just have a look at that dial and see what this watch can actually do. As you can see, the design is out of this world. You've got this turbine style metal piece behind the actual watch hands, but as you just saw, is that actually moves. So that's going to be funky to look at. Of course, you've got this heavily pilot aviation inspired watch. You've got the tachymeter all around the watch. You've got a flight computer also present. It is a full-on automatic movement. You've got this really nice bracelet here, sorry, rubber strap, but fitted rubber strap. And you've got this great black and white combination used. So even though the dial looks busy, but it does have great visibility. I think it's something absolutely bonkers from Reef Tiger. Let's try going back to the video. I do want to see that again in case somebody has missed it. So this is the movement here. Now it says Cal 8810. Now Reef Tiger, what they do, they modify movements basically. Now if anybody knows an NH35 when they see it, that was definitely an NH35 in the back there, with just a change in the actual oscillating wheel. So just look at this. So that's following the movement of the escapement. So I'd just love to know how they've actually done that. Let's go through just a few of the pictures. There you can see the back of the movement, definitely an NH35 without a shadow of a doubt. And just look at these close-up shots at the smaller dial features. So you're getting a very different watch, sapphire crystal, you know, it's fully spec'd up. It looks to be a great lume, at least judging by the pictures. price is £120, which is ridiculous for what you're getting. Honestly, very, very affordable for something very different. It is a bit on the large side. I think the dimensions are 47 millimeters, so quite a large watch, and you've got a thickness of 16 mil. So it's not going to be for everybody, but for someone who wants to see something different, something definitely quirky, this is one to look out for. I just need to bring you back to this. This is another edition from Parnis. As I said, please look at the new watches. They're doing some just really nice looking things. With this Parnis in particular, it's at £98.55, so just at the £100 mark. But you can see obviously it's been heavily inspired by Panerai. You've got that bezel and the dial, that sandwich style dial look, but the case shape is totally different. The thing with Pans, I've got an issue. I don't like the case shape, but this actually looks not bad at all, so it's definitely worth considering. And it does have, you know, the usual specs. It comes with a sapphire crystal. It's got an 8215 Miyota movement, which is actually very accurate and very reliable. So this is another fantastic buy, a gorgeous watch. It has been covered quite a bit on reviews. The Boderry 72-hour power reserve. The distinguishing factor on this watch is that it uses a high beat movement with a 72-hour power reserve. Absolute monster movement. It's got this skeletonized dial, and you can see full into that movement. You can see the jewels, you can see the gears and cogs, which have been colored differently. Awesome looking watch. It's not a dive watch, the bezel doesn't rotate, but it gives you so much for so less, under £100, with 91 orders with a rating of 4.8. so very highly rated watch as well. The dimensions are perfect as well. You know, it's a 40 mil diameter, which seems to be the sweet spot for a lot of people. This one's going to get another quick mention. This is that a 1963 Chinese Air Force pilot chronograph reissue. It runs that Sea-Gull ST1901 fully mechanical chronograph movement. Amazing movement, amazing specs. You've got two options, acrylic or sapphire. You can go acrylic if you want to go really vintage and retro. Now these, I've seen these retail on eBay for around £180, and they were quite these are quite expensive, at least around last year. But now with the sales, after the sales 112, but with the sales is £102.84, with near enough 200 orders just on this particular store. But these are very popular watches, definitely one to consider. And it's got that gorgeous 38 mil diameter, which is for those die-hard purists out there. Next up, let's hit the Heimdallr. Now, because we know a lot about Heimdallr, we're just going to flick through quickly. We've got the Monster. I've done a review on this Monster Homage as well, and £102. You've got to be absolute bonkers not to capitalize on this. Now, the thing is, people are worried. I just need to mention this really quickly about Heimdallr saying they're not official or they don't cover warranty. Heimdallr sell to all these retailers on AliExpress, so it's kind of strange for Heimdallr to say they're not going to back the warranty. But at the same time, why should they back the warranty when you're buying it from a reseller on AliExpress? So in terms of warranties and returns, you know, AliExpress, you can use their return and refund system. That's nothing to worry about. You know, if you're going to wait for Heimdallr, you're going to be waiting till the new year to get new stock in. But you've got ample amounts of stock on AliExpress, so don't let that worry you at all. I mean, it's NH36 movement, sapphire, Spectre. It's pretty well made. There's not a lot that can go wrong. But as I said, if it's in terms of QC, then you can use AliExpress's system. I don't agree with the fact that Heimdallr will sell these to all the retailers and then say, oh, by the way, they're not official. Well, Heimdallr, sad to say, it's not at the Western market. Heimdallr are not official themselves. You know, they're a brand just coming out of China. As long as you see this shredded shark logo, you're okay, and you don't see a fat tuna fish, then it's not that other, you know, that sharky that's been floating around. So rest assured that you can purchase from AliExpress. And I'm not saying that just for the commission, that's the actual fact, because Heimdallr have run out of stock, but they've got plenty of stock with these stockists on AliExpress. Next Heimdallr, the 1 kilometer tuna with this gilt version, £120. Again, another bargain. The very popular Heimdallr 62 Mass Homage at around £112 for the sapphire version with the stainless steel bracelet. Another fantastic buy. And the last on my list, this one went under the radar slightly. I have got a review of this coming out. This is the Heimdallr Turtle Homage. So the SRP 777 or the 6309, depending on how you want to look at it. £94.47 after the sales. Under £100 to get a turtle homage is actually built really, really well. Mind blowing. I think Heimdallr are coming in the steel dive prices, to be honest. I mean, they weren't not affordable before, you know, they were reasonably priced before, but they've, since this come out and the Monster come out, they've really dropped their prices, which is fantastic news as a consumer. Now, we're nearly done, guys. Hang in there. I know I've been going on for a bit. Now, these two are my absolute favorite watches from Proxima, and just in general. I'm wearing one now. So this is the Proxima MM300. I bought this piece last year, and I recently bought the Gilt version as well. You know what? You're chasing one of those solid, thick built watches, especially if you like the MM300 case. Don't look no further. I mean, steel dive's great and value for money. It actually isn't compared to the Proxima. Proxima has it spot on. The bezel action is brilliant. The looks are gorgeous. It's got really high grade materials. You've got sapphire bezel inserts. You've got fully ceramic engraved debossing on the actual bezel. Attention to detail. Great hands, great dial, great loom. And I've actually modded these watches. I've took them apart, and even the parts inside and the way this has been built, there's a lot of attention to detail gone into this, and this is the best MM300 homage. You can tell the way I'm talking about it. I do really think they are all that and more. So this plain black version with the host of bezel variants that you can get after discounts is 132. So this is, look at the brackets competing in now. I mean, they were kind of a bit expensive price. Now for this sale, 132. You've got to be crazy not to purchase them, honestly. Same with the Gilt. The Gilt is at 146. You will not regret this purchase, especially if this is your style. Of course, San Martin's turn now, so we're at around the 150 mark. So 140, great deal, great discount. We know about this Sub Homage. We don't need to say anything else on this. Now this one here, the San Martin Retro Ghost or Retro Water Ghost, homaging the more retro looking watches of the past. Now, fantastic watch. I'm going to get this in for review very soon. But I think the key feature of this watch, except those gorgeous looks, obviously it's gone retro in terms of the rivet bracelet used. And on that rivet bracelet, this is the one with, they've corrected that issue where you couldn't use those extension you couldn't use the extension on the clasp. So now they've replaced that with screw-in links, at least on the bottom, so you can use the whole extension. But for me, the best thing about this watch is that it's got that 38 millimeters in diameter. Perfect size for a dive watch. And you've got that gilt, that aged loom. You can see the Mercedes hands, that oversized dot on the seconds hand. Very nice looking watch. Definitely need to get one of these in. And you've got a top hat sapphire crystal, which adds to the retro look. You've got these rivets on the bracelet. Honestly, they've hit so many things when they've made this watch. And just look at the polishing. You've got that edge, that attention detail that we used to from San Martin. So this is going to be a real fantastic buy. They already sold 136 orders, you know, with a rating of 4.6. NS35, the usual specs, absolute spec monster. It's built as well, the quality is there, and the price after discounts, so it's £178 usually, and it's 164, so you get quite a significant discount with this San Martin. Definitely want to look at. Quick mention, I've mentioned this in the last sale video, this is the Sumo Homage from San Martin with the bracelet. After sale, 143. No doubt, another fantastic watch. Build quality is there, and the fact that they've got a bracelet as well. Another quick reference as well, this is the San Martin Water Ghost Sea Dweller Homage with the MOP dial and an enamel dial. It's got 600 meter rating with a helium valve as well. So absolute beast of a watch. Yes, it is basically a Sub Homage on steroids, but 28 orders, very good rating as well. If you just look at a wrist shot, let's see, it actually looks fantastic in the flesh as well. Again, a very beefed up Sub Homage with the two really nice dials. Of course, with this black blue, it's that James Cameron style homage, and the plain black one just, you know, just being black. And price is under 160 quid. Amazing value for money. Now the last one and the most expensive one is a San Martin GMT Rolex Homage. And just have a look. Obviously, you know why this is going to sell. They've got a few bezel options, the Pepsi, the Batman, the Coke, etc. You know the nicknames. So the best thing with this, yes, is 284 starting, and it goes up to almost 300. Now that's in pounds, but on sale is 260. So this is, I think, the best you are gonna get without, you know, stepping over to the dark side of the super clone grade watches out there. But the best thing about this is, yes, it uses a high beat GMT movement, so 8,000 beats per hour, and you've got a GMT function of that as well. And but the thing is, they use a Heimdallr 6460 movement. Now there's a bit of a watch trivia here for you guys now, if you've still stayed to watch this video, is they claim it to be a clone of the 28 ETA 2836-2. Now it is a well-known fact that the ETA actually did not make a 28362 movement. It was actually a fake movement produced by whoever, and it was basically an ETA 28, I think, 36, and which somebody had modified with Chinese parts to make it a GMT. But this Heimdallr is a clone of that ETA, and they've improved and made that movement quite a bit more reliable. And in the forums, you know, those people that are deep into watches do actually rate these movements, so you got nothing to worry about. So this is a full-on spec monster. Like I said, it's the best you're going to get without crossing over into that dark world of super clone grade watches. So that's it for me. What I will do to make it easier for you, I'll try and timestamp this video so you can just click the parts that you want to see and the watches that you are interested in. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Don't forget to use those links in that description.